Listen, all y'all black guys, y'all black women, all y'all people all y'all preachers, there's so many preachers. It's like, yo, when y'all vote for Trump, and if that man win, I remember every last single person that I have come in contact with that said they voting for Trump. And if it ain't right, cuz, I'm gonna remember you. And you're not gonna be black to me no more. At all. You're not gonna be black to me. Don't try to shake my hand. I'm not gonna shake your hand. I'm gonna pray for you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pray for you. And if something was to ever happen to your kids one day and the police do it and they get immunity, I'm not coming to march for you. I'm gonna pray for you and your family because you're the reason why it happened. That's crazy how that shit could really like tip you over in your life for voting for somebody. So everybody go out there and vote for your person. That's all I'm saying. But you vote for the wrong person.
And
did you have an intimate relationship with him?
like sexual?
Yeah. Megan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. Bitch, I was always gonna talk about the shooting. Why'd you ask me about Tory? That's not what this is about. Even if I was a nigga like once, maybe twice on a drunk night, bitch, you kept catching me out of my mind.
As a black conservative, your candidate says, I want to make America great again. You tell me when America was great, and then you tell me, would you go back to wherever it was great as a black American? And it's got to be before 2016, my friend, because that's when he was saying that.
I think America was great when everyone was benefiting from economic
No,
prosperity.
not general, sir. I'm asking for a
That's when America was
specific
great.
time. When was America great?
If you want to know when America was great, ask any immigrant who risked their lives to come here.
I really want to hear from
America is great.
I really want to hear from the black man on this because the second part of my question is, would you go back to that time? When was America great?
America was great when everyone had equality and everyone was moving towards equality. That's when America was great.
What year was
That's
that,
when America
sir?
was great. After the Civil Rights Movement, that's when America was great and making progress in change.
So let's say the late 1960s, you're saying as a black man, you would transport yourself back to the 1960s.
No, I think America was great when economically everyone was doing better. When we're making progress towards equality, that's when America was great. And
so the sum of the condition of America was when people had economic equality, and you think that was the 1960s?
No, I never said that was the 1960s. I said everything past that. I said everything past that. We've made so much progress from then.
In the 8 years that Donald Trump has been involved in politics, I've seen all the Make America Great hats and all the great T-shirts and all that great stuff. But I'm trying to figure out, as a, I think, intelligent black man, well, when would I go back?
So I do have an answer for you in this equation. Those years will be 2017 to 2021. Alice Johnson is free right now. And I know you want to pigeonhole me into a period. All right, you want to go to prior to 2016? Let's look at the Reconstruction era when we had black Americans as a whole that were finally free from the scourge of slavery because of what happened in the Civil War. They banded together to create something called the Republican Party, and the Democrats created something called the Ku Klux Klan to find and exterminate as many of those recently freed black men as possible. We can fast forward then to the 1960s if you want to. We had Lyndon Baines Johnson, Democrat president of the United States, who said, I will have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And then he brought the Great Societies Act,
Guys, it's not working. It's not working.
And emphasized Margaret Sanger to exterminate as many of us as possible.
A lot of people aren't going to like this video, but it is what it is. But did y'all know since 1973, it's been nearly 20 million black babies that's been aborted? And don't take my word for it. This is as a policy report. It says the effects on abortion in the black community. And as y'all can see, congress.gov. So this is an official government website doing this reporting. And they said with 474 abortions per 1,000 live births, percentages at these levels illustrate that more than 19 million black babies have been aborted since 1973. Now, some people may think all this is a coincidence without realizing that this was particularly promoted to the black community as a form of population control. And this might sound crazy to some, but don't take my word for it. Take President Richard Nixon's word for it, who was president from 1969 to 1974. And this was one of his quotes. He said, as I told you, we talked about it earlier, that a hell of a lot of people want to control the Negro bastards. And here's a few more of his quotes. He said, a majority of the people in Colorado voted for abortion. I think a majority of people in Michigan are for abortion. I think in both cases, well, certainly in Michigan, they will vote for it because they think that that's what's going to be aborted generally are the little black bastards. And he also said, you know what we are talking about, population control. And don't just take my word for it. You can read this yourself. Now, Margaret Sanger, who's one of the founders of Planned Parenthood and one of the leaders of the birth control movement, she believed it was necessary to reduce the birth rate among the diseased, the sickly, the poverty-stricken, and antisocial classes, elements unable to provide for themselves, and the burden of which we are all forced to carry. They said her organization used trusted leaders to convince the black community that abortion as a form of birth control is not only acceptable, but also beneficial to the African American culture. Now, some people may ask why. Like, why would somebody do all of this, right? And the reason is political power. Politics is all about numbers. The more numbers you have, the more power and influence you have voting-wise. And the more babies black people have, the more political power and voting power we'll have. And you could just read this here. It says, consider this. If those 10 million children had not been aborted, the voting power of the black community would now be at 16% nationally rather than the current 13%. What many people don't know is, and I made a post on Twitter about this about 2 months ago, is that since 1980, black people have been around 12 to 13% of the U.S. population. Today in 2024, we're still 13% of the U.S. population. Meanwhile, the Hispanic and Asian populations have tripled in America. And in 2050, the U.S. Census Bureau predicts that Hispanics will be 25% of the U.S. population, Asians will be 9% of the population, and guess where the blacks will still be population-wise? Still at 13%. Now, if you believe that's a coincidence or something that just happened by chance, I don't really know what to tell you. But I will say this, and this is something I tweeted a couple months ago. I said self-preservation is the first law of nature. Any person, system, party, or organization that aids and encourages the elimination of a people should be public enemy number one, and that should be obvious to people, in my opinion. And I also said the genocide of black Americans won't be understood or taken seriously until it's too late. And I'm only making this video for food for thought. I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but I just wanted to bring this information to light because I know a lot of people aren't aware of this. And I know a lot of people are promoting things without understanding the cause and effect. There's a cause and effect to every single thing that happens.
So in the first video, we have our clip. We got Scrappy, retired rap artist, hasn't made music in a very long time. He's pretty much only known for being on some shows. That's pretty much it. And he stated that if you are black and you decided to vote for Trump, then he's not going to consider you black. He doesn't want to be around you, doesn't want to associate. He's not going to shake hands, not going to say hi. He's just going to pray for you and yada, yada. Again, this is more of the government using celebrities in order to talk to black people because the government realizes that black people worship their celebrities. They follow their celebrities. They emulate their celebrities. They have respect and value for their celebrities, aka celebrities are the gods of black people. So because of this, they have a lot of these celebrities who they also pay or whatever else that they happen to do, backdoor deals, whatever. And they will have them promote certain things on social media. They'll have them say certain things for a little bit of money. Now, again, for the average person, they're not going to think about this. This isn't going to go directly into their brains at any point in time, thinking that a celebrity is pretty much paid for and just saying this in order to goad them into voting in this direction. But here we are. Again, when you look at Kamala Harris's campaign, you saw nothing but celebrities. You see celebrities out the yang coming directly for her in support. I've never seen this many celebrities come out in support for a president like this, and especially just people just ongoing and ongoing. Like, it's crazy, right? It is crazy. Matter of fact, let me pull that back. Maybe we have had an instance like this, I'll say maybe during the Obama era, but even with that, he more so was the driving force of people voting and all this other type of stuff. It wasn't so much celebrity influence. It was more so the vocals. It was the ideals. It was the way he voiced certain things, the type of confidence and different things that were given off every time that he spoke that made a lot of people believe in certain things. But because you have that type of confidence, that type of speech, that type of energy, in a sense, lacking when it comes to Kamala Harris because of all the questions that people have surrounding her heritage, how it is that she was brought up, and all these other types of things. This is why they are getting all of these celebrities who are idolized in order to represent, speak, and try to get people to come out. But anyways, the whole thing with Scrappy saying what he said is nonsensical and crazy, and he's pretty much on his own with that one. So before we get started, I want to say that this is not inflammatory. This is not defamation. This is not me trying to fabricate or spread any type of lies, because I know that Meg Thee Stallion or people that are representing her are trying to go after YouTube or different bloggers or whatnot that wanted to report on certain things. So this is why I had the shot of the interview that she did, and then the other shot of her basically stating that she lied directly to Gayle King. I told people before that she lied, because if you go back and look at the clip that I posted to you, when she was before she was about to answer the question, she had a it was a very subtle smirk that she did. You see her nose move and you see her cheeks also move. That means when she was thinking back to those moments, and she was like, that was a yes, she did sleep with Tory. But then she wanted to reply to Gayle, no, she lied. And then she came out here and basically stated, as you can clearly see, that she lied. All I'm sitting up there saying is this is not looking too good. That's the only thing, because like I said, there's lawsuits going on out here. All I'm saying is that's not looking too good. The moment in time that people had doubt in the answer that she gave, that means that people may seemingly, have doubts in a lot of other things. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That was not a good look at all. Because if you have people that support you, if you have people that believe and that's hanging on every single word, especially dealing with everything surrounding Meg Thee Stallion, yeah, it's not looking too good at all. Again, that's all I'm saying. Again, this is not defamation. This is not me trying to assert certain things. I'm just clearly going by both of the clips and going by the words that Meg Thee Stallion said out there in the public. That's all I'm saying. But again, everybody else can come to their own conclusions. All right, so I want to say this. Shout out to the black man on the other side that wanted to give that very detailed question that nobody on the other side could seemingly answer. And again, I don't have a dog in this race. I'm just a person that is watching, like the Watcher from Marvel. I'm just looking at everything that's taking place. And what I noticed is that when the people on the other side, the black men on the other side, did not have a exact answer to the question that the other black man gave, you had some woman, clear as all get out, decided to stand up and she wanted to start yapping and hollering and all. I'm like, you're throwing other stuff directly in here. Nobody's talking about the immigrants and all these other type of people that like I said, I hate when people try to answer a question with stuff that have nothing to do with the question that was asked. He was very specific. He asked for a time that was far ago. Let's say the 60s, right? Maybe you can even say the 70s or whatnot or whatever. He specifically asked him, hey, what was a time that was great in America? And also, during that time, if it was great for America, would you as a black man go back to that time versus being where you are? Again, I'm paraphrasing, probably adding some other stuff directly in there. But the end result is that none of them could specify or give an exact answer, time, or date at all. And the other thing that people have to understand is that a lot of at least the two black guys up there that were arguing, they were young. They were from the newer generation. So the first one, you could see he was sweating. He was really just trying to give all the emotion and all of the moxie that he could give. And he had to wipe his brow because he didn't expect that type of conversation. His brain was working overtime because he doesn't really have enough information to match up with the question that was asked. And it was a pretty simple question, right? So then the other guy decided to get the mic and he was like, yo, I got this. I'm about to really show him. I'm about to give him some energy. And he just started going off at the lip. He was listing a whole bunch of stuff, literally a whole bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with the specific question. And he knew that to begin with. This is why he stated, oh, I already know that you're going to try to pigeonhole me to some question. Yes, because he asked a very specific question. If somebody's being specific, what's 2 + 2? We all know what the answer is. I'm not asking you for a roundabout. I'm not asking you for a what if. I'm asking you for the specific answer of what 2 + 2 is. That is it. There's no reason to add any other numbers directly in there that don't have anything to do with it. Like I said before, they were going roundabout. They were circle jerking. They didn't have any type of answer, and they know that they don't. They know that if they were to go back into the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 20s, the early 1900s, go back to the 8s, they already know what it is. This is why they can't specifically answer that question, because they know that it's not going to fare well for them. And just like the man said before, he was like, so you must be talking about the 1960s. So he was like, okay, fine. So would you, as a black man, want to go back to the 1960s? He already knows the answer is. The answer is no. The answer is no. This is why we say in the black community that the ones who lived through segregation, they lived through the civil rights and so on, they are some of the strongest out there because they had to endure and go through things we never had to face or go through. And because of them going through that, we don't have to go through it right now. We have our own things that we go through, but it's not that. It's not that. Like I said before, this is what it looks like. This is what happens when you have people feel as though that they belong somewhere, even though that the people that they feel that they belong with are telling them otherwise. But like I said, it is what it is. And I've told people before that I feel like it's a loss on, both sides. Hey, it's up to anybody's choice. So last but not least, we have the black man here. And I wanted to post this video because he stated that when he posted it, things tend to happen. And I felt as though that this was a informative type of video. And the one main thing that I want to state is this. I love the fact that he wanted to bring this up, and he also showed the documentation as well in the background, just in case anybody wanted to look it up directly for themselves. But I will say this, for the longest time possible, there's only been one group that has systematically and specifically tried to drive home the notion that this is something that needs to happen. I myself, a great many a times on probably all of my platforms, if not at least 2 of them, have tried to bring up the fact of Margaret Sanger and the fact of how problematic she is and her ideals, and how it is that Hillary Clinton, who women also supported at one point in time, also said that Margaret is her idol. And that is the exact same woman who had issues with black people in general. It wasn't just a whole thing of, oh yeah, it was just black men, black. No, it was black people. That meant men, women, and children, all of them. And I specifically put up quotes that she has stated over time dealing with black Americans. Like I said, she didn't like anybody at all. There was no ifs, ands, or buts directly to it. And again, she found black Americans to be problematic, and the only way to deal with that problem is to try to push a certain notion or a certain narrative. So now we basically are in 2024, and that narrative has been pushed. And you can clearly see who is control of that narrative and who has adopted that narrative and fully believes directly in it. Again, it's not black men who have tried to drive this home. It's not black men that have tried to sell this to black women to control them and tell them what to do and yada. It wasn't that. It was other women specifically who indoctrinated and taught black women this, who led them into this type of mindset to think that this is a good and a great thing. And the main thing that I told people is this, that the moment in time that the powers that be get a hold of the wall, the guard, the protectors of a community, and they're able to segregate, divide, separate, or get rid of them, then it's open house when it deals with the women and the children, because the women and the children don't have defenses. The men are normally the ones that are the protectors. They're looking in the trees. They're just looking. They're climbing at the highest mountain to see where the enemy is. Once the guard is gone, once the walls are broken, it's open season when it deals with the women and the children, and you see the effects of that. And you keep seeing the same notion of black women stating that they're independent, they don't need a man, and yada yada. This is what that looks like. Because of how the black family has been broken up, because of how it is that black men have been separated from the black community, because of how it is that black men have been ensnared and trapped systematically by the system that is America, by their laws, the rules, and the regulations, this is what you have. This is what that looks like. And again, it wasn't black men that taught black women this information or this type of way of life. It wasn't at all. And because of that, the population it has always pretty much stayed stagnant. Some people may say that instead of it being at 13, we're at 14 or 15%. Ooh, an extra 2%. Yay, that doesn't mean anything. Realistically, and for the longevity of the situation, it doesn't mean anything, knowing the fact that you got other groups of people coming over where their populations are just exploding. And I'm like, nobody in the black community sees that as a problem. We're staying stagnant at this certain point, but everybody else is moving. Just like the same thing with everybody else is getting money, but black people are staying stagnant or in a deficit when it deals with their financials or financial literacy or their businesses or how it is that their neighborhoods and so on. Like I said, it's all systematic. But even with me, other black people, or even this black man directly in front of us, no matter what the information is, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if a black man happens to say it, nobody's going to listen. If black people who are for the black community in a positive way want them to basically heal and move forward, nobody's going to listen to what it is that they have to say. And primarily the only ones who could actually fix this situation are the same ones that are going out and getting this done. Like I said, because I, as a man, I can't sit up there and tell black women anything. So again, hopefully at some point in time, you'll have some great black female leader that will come through and that will change the mentality or the mindset of a lot of the black women out there. But until then, it is what it is. But if you've made it this far in this video, much love, respect, and appreciation. And thank you for being here. Thank you for, even listening to me. Because I know sometimes I may be long-winded, but it is what it is. Hopefully some of these videos may help you guys get through your work day, work period, maybe even a couple of minutes or whatnot or whatever. If you string a few of these videos along, it may last an hour or two or whatnot or whatever. But again, love you guys a lot, respect you guys a lot. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without people like you. Let me know what you guys feel about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.